It is not magic. No, no, no. It is down home country bumpkin mystery juice. That's what we're drinking over here. It's a combination. You guys ever mixed alcohol? I mean, you're not supposed to mix alcohol. Now, we all know that. There's limericks and everything that go with it, dating back to the dawn of time. All right, I got that. But if you mix all the same color alcohol, are you okay? Like if you scrounge your liquor cabinet and there's just a little bit of Jack Daniels and there's a little bit of Jim Beam and there's a little bit of, well, let's just say there's some in the bottom of everything, but they're all brown. And you mix those together. Put a little squeeze of honey or something in there. Yeah. Does that, well, first of all, I mean, I don't know if I can get any more white trash than that. I probably could. I guess if I chased it down with a Pabst Blue Ribbon, yeah, maybe. But is that going to get me messed up quicker, or is that not going to get me messed up at all, or is that just going to make me sick? Now, asking for a friend, I would never, ever do that again, because that's just bad. You guys remember the secret sauce, don't you? Normally I drink the secret sauce before we go live, but we already went live, so that means the secret sauce is in my hand. You guys, secret sauce is when the chicken, you know, when you think that you're in trouble and you need up on the double, when you think that you might take a licking, buck, 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 super chicken. Remember, he's got just a regular chicken and he's like smart, probably like a millionaire. And then he drinks the secret sauce or super chicken secret sauce. And then he turns into like gets the mask and the hat, and he's good to go, like Antonio Banderas, but he's like a chicken. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. No offense to Antonio, I know you're watching, brother. I love you. Just relax. I'm not. It was yes, I included you in the show. I told you I'd work your name in there somewhere, and super chicken seemed to be the best way to get the job done. So, welcome Antonio to the program, and let's drink the super sauce. Now we can get going. Oh. Well, Elizabeth Ansar said, hello, handsome. Now, I don't know if it's you or me, but Elizabeth, I haven't gotten a direct hello, handsome from you in years. All right? Years. But we're lucky we're here now, so that's good. Okay. All right. Everybody calm down. Look who's in here. Loud One's in here. Tim Mitchell, Alan Pitts, Eric Leroy, Mrs. Ford Watton, ever present, always classy, and lovely to the very end. Absolutely divine, Mrs. Ford Watton. Be thankful she's with us. She graces the presence. You're all better off when she arrives, and you know that's true. Barry Dano, our favorite orderer from across the northern border in there. Trish is in here, too. Always making sure the Loud One's behaving as best as she can. Magsy, Oak, KG, Texas. Bob McKinley. Daniel Bates, new name there. Bum, 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 bum. Yes, I'm scrolling up. Two Bears in here helping out, swinging the big blue wrench. He will be your moderator for this evening. Trippy Pineapple stopping by too. Trippy Pineapple's working triple duty tonight. There's no play on words intended. It just happened that way. So between the sheets, because it's hard to do between the sheets. We got Facebook and we have YouTube. So between the sheets, I have left Gen X Mom alone between the sheets with Lionheart and Trippy Pineapple. I know, it was against my better judgment. Most of you said, don't do it. But I did it anyway. Fuck it. You got to break the rules once in a while. And Disney Mama Sammy Joe, the Sugar Mama's in here too. Now, I don't like starting out the program on a bad note. I mean, who does? If you're on a date, this is a date. It's a very casual, informal, non-binary date, as they say. You don't want to start off on a low note. In fact, what you're supposed to do as a trained broadcast professional, what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to go into the program, get everybody going, get the rhythm flowing, and then bring up the bad news and then move on. You try to pick things back up, which is very difficult to do. However, you're in the hands of a trained broadcast professional. Things will move along smoothly. Hold on. Loud One, $5. Chush has her work cut out for her tonight, keeping me in line. That usually means that Loud One is parked for the night and he's stable and he's got his pasta in the cab with him there and he's going to drink. That's usually what it means. Or he's home. Could mean both. All right. So Barry Dano said he dropped in $5 also, turned my whole screen teal. What's with the full beard, Santa in training? Well, Barry, if you'd been hanging out, if you'd been privy to the inside information for a while now, I'm growing this not because Mrs. Four thinks I'm super handsome, which she does, and I am. I'm growing that because I made an executive decision the other day, like it was just a day ago. I don't know, a month ago, 5 weeks ago. I don't know. How much growth is this, you guys? About 4 weeks? 5 weeks maybe? Not much. And I said, that's it. No more trimming of the hair. No more trimming of the beard. We're leaving the face, the masterpiece alone until the studio gets here. So we're sticking to it. Now, I might trim a little bit there, but no, the cluster is growing until the new studio arrives. So all of you going to Las Vegas in the middle of January, you're going to see me just like this. Yeah, I might be a little more cleaned up, a little more presentable, less hillbilly, more redneck, but I'm getting there. I'm working on it right now. So what you see is what you get. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. All right. So yeah, back to the bad part of the program. You guys know in Discord, the Discord server, you guys can put up the links. Lionheart should have shut off the Discord server, and so nobody's in there messing around. Everybody's supposed to be here. That's what you do. You leave the classroom, head out to the field. Whenever there's a fire alarm, you all go out to the field. You're not in your classroom anymore. Discord is the classroom. This is the field. Fire alarm's going. All right, good. Glad you're coming along with me. So, we're watching the movie. You guys know every Monday night we watch a movie. Then in December, we're watching Christmas movies. So, of course, one of the Christmas movies we're watching in there is Die Hard. And it's free. And everybody's just hanging out. We all log in and just go hang out. And we chat back and forth. No talking, just chatting back and forth. We watch the movie Die Hard together. Now, I'm pretty good about not fucking up spoilers. I'm pretty good about not saying a bunch of shit like that. I'm not rude. I'm not one of those idiots that sits there in the movie theater if you're having a bunch of people over, isn't there always one asshole who's sitting there going, oh no, watch what happens here. When this guy does that and this guy does this, watch this scene right here. Watch what's coming up. Or hey, there's a blooper coming up, man. Watch what happens right here. How many of you know a person like that right in your head right now? You're picturing that asshole's face. You're thinking of the last time he did it. You want to slap the shit out of him right now. Raise your hand. Me. I'm included in that. I hate those fuckers. So you tolerate them. All right? You do. We get by with that. Now, so what that means is that if we're watching the movie together and all of us are in Discord, we're all there watching the movie. It was a great movie. I'll watch it again and again and again. You're trying not to say stuff in the movie. You know, you text stuff and someone sees something, oh, that guy was my cousin, or I know where they filmed this. Yeah, after the scene's over, you might throw something out there just as conversation, but you don't say stuff before it happens. So not only did I wait until after. In Die Hard, you guys remember, I even brought it up the other day in the live stream. I said, Christmas doesn't start for Generation X until Hans Gruber falls off of Nakatomi Plaza. Now, I felt comfortable saying that because the movie's like 25 years old. I don't think at this point, that is such an iconic scene. Everybody's seen it. There's memes about it. It's been out in the world for 25 years. I really don't think I'm fucking anything up for anybody by saying that. But I waited, even during the movie. I waited till he fell off the building, till Hans Gruber fell. And you guys know the scene when he's looking backwards. And you guys know the scene. Everybody does. I waited till after the scene in the movie, and then I said, Christmas can begin now that Hans Gruber has fallen off of Nakatomi Plaza. Now, here's where it gets stupid. In the chat room of this movie that we're watching, Sammy Joe gets mad. She types in there, she goes, oh, thanks for the spoiler, General. Thanks for less spoiler. I'm like, I waited till it was over. I waited till the scene had passed. And the movie's been out for 24 years. Everybody knows this. What am I in trouble for? And she goes, well, I couldn't get the movie room to work on Discord. I couldn't watch it with you guys. So I'm like, 15 minutes behind you guys. I had to turn it on somewhere else, like on Netflix or on YouTube or something. So she's watching it behind us because she couldn't watch it with us. I waited 25 years for the movie to be out. I waited a few minutes after the scene, and then I said the comment that I always say, I'm getting reprimanded because I was there's a spoiler there. How would I know that how would I fucking know that she couldn't have logged in and wasn't part of what? How would I know that? How would I possibly know that? Yeah. Do you understand? And here we are, and I'm feeling kind of bad about it. And then I'm checking my resolve and holding back my intentions. And finally I blurt out, the movie's been out for 25 years. Everybody fucking knows he falls off the guy. If you see the third movie, it shows him falling off in the first movie. So now there's 2 movies out there that show the exact same thing. I'm sure she'd seen it before. And if she hasn't seen it before, which I think was the case, she was blaming me. Like, well, I haven't seen that before. I'd never seen it. I never knew. I didn't get the reference. I didn't get the point. And then you spoiled it. All right. Really, that's on you. Come on now. I think my entire Generation X friends would support me. Bottom of the Glass Nation would probably rally around me and say, if you wait until right now to see that for the first time, you've got deeper issues than really we can work out here. You're going to have to take your issue someplace. We can't help you. If you've waited that long and the general waited till after the scene, how was he supposed to know you're jerking around on someone? How would I know that? Now, I find no blame in myself. I find no fault in my actions. I slammed the gavel down. The deed was done. I rendered a verdict, not guilty, and then we moved on. Oh, for God's sakes. That's a true story, and that's how it happened. Give or take a lie or two, but mostly true. Troy Randolph's over here. General, top of the evening. Please let ZEO know that the package with his Christmas gifts I made for his girlfriend should arrive Friday. All right. Lionheart, can I bottom of the glass woodshed her? Yeah, you absolutely, just once. You can't keep Sammy Joe in the woodshed all night, but you can do it once. If you want to, that's fine. One time, she deserves to go to the woodshed. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's just ridiculous. You could tell me that shit like that. Chris Yeager, 6 months. Yeah, Chris Yeager's right. He's saying my words. Think about what Sammy Joe just put me through. Think about the untested logic in her brain. To blame me for a movie that's been out for 25 years, that she's never seen, that I wait until after the scene, then I divulge the spoiler. Chris Yeager's got it right. Chicks, man. Chicks. Some people's kids, I tell you. All right. So that now we get that downer out of the way. Are we good? We good to go? The only other downer that really bothers me, and I don't bring these things up, but I'll say something once in a while, when there's a celebrity that passes away. The ones that really hurt are the ones that I had a crush on. I don't know why. It just does. I mean, there's when James Caan died, I was very upset. James Caan's a cool cat, very smooth. I got it. Kirstie Alley passed away, and that bothered me. I'm not sure why it hit me. I don't, we're back to that thing. I know you guys are shaking your head. You're already shaking your head. I know, because I say it every time. I just picture everyone still out there. I even picture people still look the way they do. All the musicians and all of the bands and all of the actors and actresses in movies that were part of my life, and I was part of their life, being the customer, being the listener, being the viewer. That was my part of the relationship. I did my part, they did theirs. Very symbiotic. Glad you're coming along with that. I picture them all there. And when they're not, and more of them pass on, it starts to bother me. It's weird. I don't know. I mean, and I don't know any of them. I've never met any of them or very few of them. And I know that they weren't an integral part of my everyday life. I'm telling you that I'm stupid for the way I think. I got it. Maybe I'm alone in this. But it's odd to have them not there. I just think they're there. I think they're there the whole time. Then you see I've seen pictures of David Lee Roth and what he looks like now at 68. And when you say the name David Lee Roth, I don't picture that. Sorry. I don't. And I think that everybody's there living their life. And when I have to get a reality check on someone that for some reason I was enamored with, I don't know. It hits a little weird. It hits a little hard. Don't follow me down that road too long. I'm probably the only idiot that thinks that way, but I just thought I'd let you know that it is. So the 12 days of Christmas are here. Gen X mom rolled out her 12 days of Christmas, and we talk about this every time because now we're on day 6. And before I go further, did you guys see the baking show? I know. I got to put it back up. I got to finish editing and put it back up. I just got to edit out my stuff. What a great live stream. What a great live stream. Sunday, we had a couple cameras set up, and Jennick's mom was there, and she did some baking, and the camera angles were good. She was very fluent. She wasn't stuttering. She wasn't slow. She answered you guys' questions. She answered my questions. It was great. All the way through, it was really good. So just letting you know, she's doing one again on Sunday. She did fudge and gingerbread cookies. It was one of them was my grandmother's recipe, and she gave it all to you guys. And the other one was gingerbread. I think that was her recipe, and she gave that out too. And it's delicious stuff. And she's just simple. It's just she's not teaching you guys something brand new. She's not teaching you guys something super fantastic. You know, she's not Gordon Ramsay, but she's having a good time. We're all having a good time, you know, and that's the point. Was to come together and hang out and do something, which was great for me because I didn't have to do hardly anything. My responsibilities were pushing buttons, which is what I like. Christina Hansen, welcome to being an extra. Christina, you joined at the right time. You did. I know we're on this crazy bus ride together and we're about to go over a cliff. The show always does. We'll get banned. We'll get kicked. Something will happen. But until then, just remember, until then, this bus is going 60 miles an hour through a windy mountain road, and all the windows are shut, and there's no one steering. Everyone's taking a turn at the steering wheel with one hand at a time, and it's going to be great. Well, the part you're going to like is Christina, you just became a member on the YouTube side, and you should, because it was a buck, okay? There's lots of benefits to that, but there's lots of inside stuff, and some of the inside stuff you guys are going to see that'll be membership-only stuff, whether it's Patreon or Facebook subscribers. Same way, if you guys are subscribers on Facebook, it's a buck. I don't know how to link you to that. I don't know how to link you to any of these things. But the Facebook subscribers can go to the General's Lunchbox. That's a page, but you can't get there unless you're a subscriber. YouTube members go to the community section, and there's members-only stuff. But I'm getting to what's coming up. There's lots of inside stuff from the holidays, probably from the 15th all the way till New Year's, that behind-the-scenes stuff we're not showing anybody anywhere but the subscriber side. That's the benefit of being a subscriber. That's the benefit of paying that buck. You want to pay a buck, you get some cool shit. That's just letting you know, and it's worth it. It's really good. So thank you to all you guys who have been members. Thank you all the ones that are becoming members. We'll get to you guys in a minute. Pum, pum, pum. George Bell, $5. Been nearly a year since I tuned in. Good to see you doing well. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Drinking a beer and figured I'd buy you one too. George, my man. Well, George, since it's been a while since you've been around, my man, we'll drink one right now. Raise your glass, George, you and me, buddy. Maybe if there's just two of us, I'm all right with that. I don't like drinking alone, but I'll do it if I have to. Spilling shit all over me. Party foul. Mrs. 4 Watton, member for 6 months. All she did was yell in capital letters, "Let's drink." Now, you guys know the rule. If I just took a drink, I ain't taking another drink. I just took a goddamn drink. I will not drink twice in a row. I'm not taking 2 shots in a row. Why? Because I don't want to. And I'm not gonna. And in the relationship that Mrs. 4 Watt and I have, and we do have a relationship, there has to be compromise around here. When she says, "Let's take a drink," and I've already drank, and I say, "No, we're not taking a drink," Mrs. 4 Watt and the General have to learn to compromise. So we compromised. Then I took another drink. Yeah, you guys think it's going to be funny when Jack Daniels comes out my nose. That's going to be entertaining. Loud one, Jennick's mom did an amazing job. I nearly crashed my truck when Buster tried to eat the phone. The smell was coming through the phone. It was so good. Loud one, you ain't lying. The entire house. I mean, she just made it's that thing when it's cold outside, a little rainy, a little drizzly, and you come inside and the house is clean and it's decorated and it smells like cooking and baking. Oh yeah, it's good stuff. Russell Covey dropped in 100 stars. Go Broncos. Russell, I think we're in so much trouble. I really do think we're in trouble. I don't think Russell Wilson has panned out as quarterback of the Broncos. In fact, I think he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league right now. That's just my opinion. What do I know? Just a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. All right. So, yeah, George Bell, we got to him. What I missed over there? Was another one I missed? I'm scrolling through the comment section. Scrolling. Keep them comments scrolling. Rawhide. Where are we at? Oh, Chush raised a glass. Doug Vanderhoop raised a glass. Did no one said a thing about me submitting with my... No one said, oh, there they all are. And I was still looking for that. I didn't think anybody was going to say anything about me compromising with Mrs. Fort Watton. Relationships are all about compromise with women, and you have to learn how to do it correctly. Now, I just showed you all how to compromise with a woman. I did it live, right here in person with Mrs. Fort Watton. I taught you guys how to do that. That's how you compromise with a woman. You're welcome, America. And Denmark. You guys are included, too. All right. All right, so got lecture Discord, 12 Days of Christmas. Talk about that. Yeah, I know, the 12 Days of Christmas. So what do I complain about with the 12 Days of Christmas with Gen X Mom? She hands me the list and says, go do it. And one of the days was music. How do I talk about Christmas music? You can't play it because you get copyrighted. You can't play it. So if you play anything in here, they shut your live stream down. Okay, well, I can't do that. That sucks. So now I've just got to deal with just talking about Christmas. It was an insanely dumb topic. And in the hands of a lesser man, we might have had issues, but we did not. You're welcome. However, I thought I was past all the difficult ones. Do you guys see what tonight's is? Did you guys even read what tonight's is? Yeah, day 6 was the North Pole. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what she wrote. The note she wrote me was, day 6. It's all about the North Pole. So I sat down a couple hours ago. I'm like, okay, how do we do North Pole? North Pole. We got to talk about the North Pole for a day 6 of the 12 Days of Christmas. North Pole. North Pole. North Pole. The fuck am I supposed to talk about for an hour about the goddamn North Pole? So I put it in the cover picture, as you saw when you clocked in. And then I got a couple pictures, a couple things. I got about 4 minutes of conversations about the North Pole, and that's it. I'm lost. I'm going to have to redirect these topics because, they sound Christmassy. They sound fun. They sound exciting. And like, oh my gosh, we're going to have a live stream and talk about Christmas music, but don't play any. We're going to talk about Christmas movies, but don't show any. We're going to talk about the North Pole. Yeah, you can show that one if you want to. Well, what the fuck? I bet if I went up to the North Pole and I grabbed it out of the ground and brought the actual North Pole here, maybe that would be entertaining for an hour. Maybe, perhaps, but that's short of that. What am I supposed to do? All right. Well, instead of talking about what was I supposed to do, let's find out what I did. All right, shall we? Good. Glad you're coming along with me. Oh my God, I didn't even put it in here. I didn't even get it in. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? And I'll have to see if it's even there. And it's not. Wow. I can't believe I downloaded the wrong folder. Aren't I the horse's ass? As Jack Nicklaus once said. All right, I'll just tell you about it. This is even better. Now we're going to talk about the North Pole with no visuals. Now, to be fair, I only had 3. So it doesn't matter. I found out why nobody can find Santa's house. Now this is a true story. Because doing my due diligence and research into the North Pole, I found out that there is a geographic North Pole and there is a real true magnetic North Pole, and then there's what they call the northern something magnetic North Pole. And that's where Santa lives, but that moves. Because that part of the planet and how it's geared up, and I'm not a rocket scientist, so I can't explain all the intricacies, but they're very clear, this North Pole moves. So if you try to find it with just a compass, it's going to lead you to a different spot about every 5 or 8 years. It's substantially off, all right? To me, now all I heard from all the rigmarole that was being said to me, there's all these statistics and charts and graphs and all the math that goes along with it, I got that it moves. And if it moves, you can't find Santa's house. That made total sense to me. Bringing my childhood right up to science, right up to the level of science. You're welcome. Gen X Mom, you got your hand up. What's up?
Fix the screen. You're small.
Oh, fix the screen. I'm small in the corner. Sorry about that. I know. Thank you for complaining, ladies. I know you want to see more of me. I do apologize. All right. Let me race through the sheets over here, see who's got something going on. Tori Randolph, maybe we could encourage Gen X Mom to do a monthly baking show. I wish, but I really don't think she'd do it. Barry Daniel, sorry for only being here a short time, but going deer hunting in the morning. By the way, vegans, my food poops on your food. Thank me for stopping one from doing that. Now, there's Barry Daniel. If all the vegans out there, there he is. He's stopping a deer from pooping on your food. You should thank him. I would. Kevin Levine, tearing down an old 327, right? Chevy 327 right now. Listening to you and wondering your thoughts on a 12-millimeter socket on a half-inch worn-out bolt if I hammer it on. Well, you better make it a 6-point socket there, Kevin. If you hammer on a 12-point, you'll probably just keep splitting it. But, yeah, I've done the same thing. I've hammered on metric sockets on American bolts, done it both ways. You can get it on there, man. It'll work. It'll go. Even an impact driver. You know what those are? You guys know what an impact driver is? Tool about this big. And you put a socket on the end, and you put it on there. You hit it with a hammer as hard as you can. That's how the tool works. If you're gonna take a bolt off or a nut off with a socket and it won't move, one of the things you can do is use an impact hammer, and you hit it, and it drives the tool down and turns it a quarter turn. Boom! So you get all that power of the hammer turning. Yeah, it's rotary motion into reciprocating motion, or the other way around. Reciprocating motion into rotary motion. Good. Glad you figured out that. Now, let's go. Here's one for me, and I don't know where this came from. Kathy Yoder Lang. My hubby, age 60, has been a mechanic since he was 14, and he totally agrees with you about the tools you talked about before. He said he used a snap-on socket that flew into his front teeth and broke a tooth. There's a huge difference in the quality of tools. Excuse me. We just wanted to back you up on that. Bless, brother. Thank you very much, Kathy. I appreciate that. From one mechanic to another, you tell your husband I appreciate him. We got to stick together because the new technology, do you know that now, and I don't want to get all technical on you guys, but I want to scare you into something. I do. When I left the industry a few years ago, there were cars on the road that had over 100 computers and modules on every year, make, and model. All of them, and computers and modules that ran and thought, and they all tie together. Not the days of pick apart where you're like, oh, this computer doesn't work. I'm going to go get one out of that car. No, you're not. Well, it's the same year, make, and model with the exact same options. It's even the same color. Just get it and plug it right in. No, you won't. Because they build the computers and modules that they all synchronize off of your VIN number. And if you take that out of one car and put it into another, most of the modules won't work at all or even turn on. That's not the scary part. Did you know that cars are getting to a point when you give them a tune-up? Remember the days when you could just change some plugs and wires in your driveway and down the road you went? No. They are making you, if you give a car a tune-up, they're making you reset the computer, relearn the strategy of the computer. You have to tell the computer, hey, we have new ignition components and we have new spark plugs in. I have to tell the computer that. Well, do you have a computer that'll do that in your garage? Not likely. I don't. And I've got some stuff, and I still don't. You got to be careful because you can't do the stuff you used to be able to do. Do you know that doing a brake job now, you have to have a computer drives electrically and backs off part of your brakes so you can do the job. Then the computer motor comes back. Yeah. Try doing some of those in your driveway. Because if you fuck it up, you're going to tow it into the dealership and they're going to charge you more. Yeah, you have to have a computer to release some of the brakes. True story. I'm not kidding. I'm just letting you know they are designing cars on purpose that we cannot work on at home anymore. That's what they want to do. They want all the cars to go to the dealerships. Dealerships are planning hiring 50 to 60 mechanics because they're doing things on purpose where we don't have the ability to work on them anymore. And you have to bring them back to them. That's the point. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Letting you know. All right, moving on. Coyote Adventure. So Santa can't be found. Well, Coyote, I didn't say Santa can't be found. I said his workshop is moving. Now, Santa's magic, so his magic works with it and moves it around. But that magnetic North Pole deal is different all the time. It changes. I read that. It's science. I read it on the internet, so it has to be true. And it makes sense. I can back it up with facts from my childhood because no one could ever find where Santa lived. No one had ever been to Santa's house. You knew where it was. You knew it was at the North Pole, but no one could figure out why they couldn't see it when they got there. Was it cloaked? Yeah. Did it have a Klingon cloaking device? Perhaps not. Perhaps it was part of the real magnetic North Pole that constantly changes because of how the Earth is shaped and what it does. All right, that sounded good to me, and it fit my narrative for tonight's event, and it matched up my childhood. That's 3 for 3, baby. That was good. It wasn't even strike one. I was on my way. So, Coyote, I think you can find Santa, but the easiest way to find Santa, as everyone knows, is to wait till Christmas Eve when NORAD starts tracking him. NORAD has been tracking Santa since like 1951 or something, so they can see Santa, and they got him on lock, baby. You want to see Santa? You want to know where he is? Check with NORAD on Christmas Eve. Mrs. Fort Watton, who is tonight's whore? That is a damn good question. You know what? The kid set all this up, so I don't know who tonight's whore is. I'm going to guess he's a little behind on his whorish duties. I don't know. All that I see in the cup in there, do you guys see what's in the cup? Now, for Facebook, this is going to be an additional thing you guys aren't used to because this cup only fills up here normally with different shapes and sizes and colors and faces and streams from YouTube. But Facebook, take a look at this. Do you see those peaches in there? Those ass-shaped peaches? Those are perfectly sculpted, molded from plaster from our very own, our lovely Mrs. Fort Watton's hind parts. And that mold was taken and cleverly crafted. We sent that mold to the Netherlands, and RJG, with his superior talents, rendered from that perfect mold this image that you're seeing here that falls into that glass. Those are Mrs. Fort Watton's perfectly ass-shaped peaches every time. Now, the $2 whore is who goes up against them. The blue diamonds are big money, and then anything from Facebook that falls in there is from Facebook. And I don't even know if that part's turned on because I didn't set this up. The kid did. Well, I love you guys. You're here. We're still talking. Anytime you guys do any stars or anything over in Facebook, one of the guys over there will copy and paste it up here between the sheets, and I will make sure that I give you the recognition that you so desperately deserve. Mrs. Fort Watton, do you have to have a different computer software of every kind of car? Yeah. Every kind of car. Mrs. Fort Watton says, do you have to have different computer and software for every kind of car? Yes. There is different programming for every. Now, Ford has a Ford computer that programs all the Ford cars. They'll do all Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury. But you have to have a separate program for each car, a separate program for each computer on each car. If a car has 100 programmable computers that are doing different things, Ford will have 100 pieces of software that go in there and upgrade, and they all have to talk to each other. Yes, a car, if the main computer doesn't talk to the transmission controller, doesn't talk to the brake module, if they all, in the body control module, if they all don't talk to each other, recognize each other, you here, you're here, okay, you're good. Where's the training? Oh, training guy there, transmission guy, good. And where are you at the brakes? Brakes are here, body control, everybody's here. Then the car will start. There's a couple of them, if they don't communicate, the computer shuts down thinking there's a theft problem or a potential theft problem, and your car will not start. Yeah. Also, I'm sure all of you already know this, built into every car now, if you make payments on your car, that's like a low jack system. They will shut your car off if you miss a couple payments, and they will come tow it away. And if you just pick it up and tow it yourself, they'll track it. And they're built into the computers. Good luck trying to shield them. Glenn Beck, most of you know who Glenn Beck is, and I heard a story about, I guess it was 10 years ago now, but something about that. When he would buy he bought a brand new Ford truck, took it to this company, they stripped the entire thing down, every nut and bolt, took all the computers out, they wrapped all the computers in a special aluminum foil type thing so that no signals could get out, you couldn't track it anymore. They had a team of people at a speed shop detune, not the performance of the engine. They had them detune some of the circuitry in there where things have to talk to each other so that nothing could get out. He did some other stuff to make it bulletproof and things like that in case someone tried to take a shot at him. But the thing that it was impressed upon me was all the lengths they went to make sure that no one could track his vehicle, shut it off, know where he was. It was quite the feat. I think he probably spent $40,000 on this brand new truck and then spent $80,000, making it to where nobody could find you. If you got that kind of money, go do your stuff. Kevin Levine, thoughts on the right to repair laws? Yeah, I was impressed on independent garages standing up and having their laws invoked. The laws are on the books. There's quite a few of them that say you can't. The factories and the dealerships can't cut us out. We need access to the tools. We need access to the information. We need access to the software. And the first thing they did was say, sure, but it's $100,000 for each one, because the law only said that the factory had to provide it to the mechanic. They didn't say how much they were charging. That was one. And then the mechanic said, okay, they fought to have the prices more reasonable, the access more readily available, and the factories and dealerships complied. All right, so now you get in there and you're like, okay, this got my stuff and I can do my things. Going to be expensive, but as a mechanic, I can afford it. Here you go. And then they change it every year on purpose. Ford changes everything about every car, so the tools you bought last year do not work on this year's car. Stuff like that. There's no way an independent garage even has a prayer of keeping up with the cost. All right, and looks like Gen X Mom is hovering. How can I help you, sweetheart?
Hello, everyone.
And we've gone, how far? We have gone 35 minutes into the program, and we're only hearing your voice for the first time.
I'm sorry. I've been busy.
You've been busy all day, if the truth be known.
Yeah, it's been a crazy day.
It has been.
There's been a few people in the sheets or in the chat that said it's been a hell of a day, and yes,
I think it's been that way for everybody. It really, really has.
It's been.
How's your pain level right now? Don't lie.
Not good.
I could see it on your face right now. You're pushing right now pretty hard just to keep going.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that.
No, we won't talk about
So $10 from Mrs. Four. It says it's time to hear our angel Vegas fund. That's me.
Oh, I was going to ask you, haven't we been hearing me all night? The voice of, do I need to change my voice to the voice of an angel? I can do that.
And our granddaughter is trying to
sticking her face in the jar. She's putting her face.
You should wave to everybody, sweetheart. Wave.
See?
There's our beautiful little girl.
Yeah, that's my granddaughter. Don't call me Pop Pop in front of everybody. Then everyone's going to call me Pop Pop. When you say Pop Pop, then they all say Pop Pop. All right, so we talked about my granddaughter and her panic. Remember the other day she was out on the front lawn screaming, and we all thought someone was stealing her or a dog had attacked our dog, and she's screaming out there, and all she was, God, the dog won't go to the bathroom. Ah! All right, we got past that one. Another quick story coming up. Dominic Demantis, your voice reminds me of the old school radio stations. God love you, sir. Keep up the great work. Dominic, thank you for that, man. It's a good compliment. I haven't heard that in a while. Loud one. Let's see who it is. Good luck figuring it out. When you figure it out, let me know. Sally Renee. Now, I may not know who Sally Renee is by the name. The picture excites me. But when she says, hey, handsome, and she left the red lips and the black heart, we all know who that is. There's only one who does that. Well, there's two, but she's one of them. I know who it is now. Sally, thank you very much, sweetheart. That women who do that, they give you that little emoji of the red lips and the black heart. You know, the red lips is that big kiss, and then the black heart. That's just like, your spirit's going to be crushed. That's a backhanded compliment. Here's your kiss. Now I'm kicking you in the nuts, and they walk away. That's what it's going to be. I can feel it coming a mile away. Red heart and red lips and a black heart, whatever. Who's in here? Kevin Levine for the next beer bro on me. Well, Kevin, I'm not a beer guy, but I'm going to take that right now and down it with some Jack Daniels. How about that? Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, everybody who posted recently. We're going to get back to you guys in a minute. Okay. So, the other story. I had a terrible night sleeping last night. Couldn't couldn't get my shit together for some reason. And my phone beeped, and I'm totally trying to sleep now, and I can't figure out who's texting me. And I know it's one of my daughters, and I'm like, fuck. And then I see that I missed a call from one of my daughters, and I'm like, all right, I don't get this. So as I'm laying in bed, one eye open, looking at my phone, there's a knock on my door, my bedroom door. It's my other daughter. I'm like, what do you want? I'm yelling, what do you want? Of course, my wife is all, come in, it's open, it's fine. Nothing going on in here you can't see. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. And so my daughter comes in, and she's telling me that my other daughter, who was trying to call both of our phones, text both of our phones, she goes, you guys got to get up. She's in Las Vegas, and it's a 911 emergency. You guys got to get up right now. So we're both, pong, now you're awake. When your daughter calls you from Vegas, and she's your responsible daughter, it's car accident, hospital, or jail, something. So now we sprang out of bed. What's going on? Grab the phone. You okay? Put her on speaker. And she's a little bit hysterical. Not bad. But they're like, what? What is going on? It's 2 a.m. What? And she says, I need my social security number right now. Okay. In my brain, in my brain, if you could hear my brain hitting the brakes, I came to a skid stop. Like, wait, what? What do you need your social security number for if you're in jail? I'm not in jail. Well, you don't need it in a car accident. What the? She goes, yeah. No, I'm fine. I won $5,200, and I was playing penny slots, and I won it. And the IRS guy won't give me the money unless I sign the form. I can't sign the form without my social security number, and I don't remember what it is. I said, so you woke me up at 2 in the fucking morning. Of course, as my anger is building, Gen X mom grabs the phone with my other daughter. They run out of the room. They run down the stairs. They're having a time of their life. Oh, my God, you won $5,000, and you guys need your social security number. I'm still, the room is now quiet and dark. I'm still going, what the fuck? Why am I up? Are you fucking out of your goddamn mind? I see Joseph Jackson in there put $100 for the general and Gen X mom. Whoever's monitoring Facebook needs to get their shit together. That's all I got to say. I'm seeing stuff that I would be commenting on. It's not showing up between the sheets. Shame on you. Music Smith, what's the number one value system you think kids have lost? Disrespecting their parents at 2 a.m. when they're in Vegas. That's one. That's what comes to mind right goddamn now, Music Smith. What's the number one value system you think kids have lost? Respect. Music Smith, respect. The kids do not respect anything. In fact, the kids that are part of movements, you know what movements I'm speaking about, they have attitude of, I ain't going to respect you till you respect me first. Not the way I was raised. You show respect, you offer respect, and see what you can earn. He's given to you, you dumbasses. Anybody walking out there going, I ain't going to respect you till you respect me. I don't respect the goddamn thing. The world don't respect me. I ain't going to respect the world. Well, you're in for a long haul because you're in the minority with that. You really are. All right, there you go. This is the best question. Ben Johnson for the general, 500 stars. That's it. Ben Johnson gave me 500 stars. I'm going to fucking Taco Bell right after this. Mrs. Fort Watt and Herschel Walker is winning now. The two things to that, Mrs. Ford, in which she's talking about the Senate race in Georgia. That's good. Okay, I like that. But the problem we're going to have there is the mail-in ballots. Oh, and here we go again with the mail-in ballots. Who's got them in the trunk of their car? Who's driving them around? I don't know. But that's where the tide changes. That's where people, when someone's winning, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, my Uncle Henry had 30,000 ballots in the trunk of his car, and they're all for the other guy. He wins. You guys wonder why people get pissed when shit like that happens? Even if it's true, even if that was 100% factual that Uncle Henry had 30,000 ballots, the fuck is he doing driving around with them, and why would you bring them at the last minute knowing you're going to cause civil unrest? Why would you do that? You get what I'm saying? You smelling what I'm stepping in? All right. Oh, Mrs. Four. Yeah, we'll see how he does. And don't get everyone who's not paying attention, don't get all excited because that only brings us to 50-50 in the Senate. And Kamala Harris is the deciding vote. But what that does do, for those of you naysayers right now, what that does do is there's quite a few bills that are going to be presented that not all the Democrats are on board with. They're going to lose one or two, especially Joe Manchin. He's just out to veto everything now because of Biden. So you kind of have him going the way of the Republican, which really gives us 51. So it is important. It is really important. I don't mean to downplay it at all. All right. So we talked about my daughter calling at 2 a.m., Kirstie Alley passing away, talked about the baking show. I'm checking off the list, baby, doing the best I can. We also got a few words from Gen X mom and how much she's suffering at the moment. I'm sorry about that. I really am. So being that I don't have any pictures to show at the North Pole, there is Santa's Village in California. Is kind of a theme park. It's one of the oldest theme parks. It was one of the very first franchised theme parks as it went around the country, and it's up near Lake Arrowhead. It's a couple hours, 2.5 hour drive from where I grew up, but it's still here in California, Southern California, still here, and even though it was closed for a little while. But the point I'm making is you got to remember, I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I grew up in Los Angeles and the suburbs of Los Angeles. I grew up going to every beach. I grew up going to the snow at Wrightwood and Big Bear. We could go to the snow. It was not far. I grew up playing in the beautiful deserts of Southern California. I grew up in Yosemite Valley and going up Highway 1 where the pine trees meet the ocean. I was a spoiled, fucking rotten brat without the attitude. I didn't even know I was spoiled. I had no idea how lucky I was to be born where I was, to a family that drove and went to all these things to go see these things. I had no idea. I had no idea how fortunate I was to be born in 1967 and experience the 70s and the 80s and the early 90s. I had no idea. One of the things that I just assumed was part of everyday life, I assumed everybody in America did this all the time because all the stuff I was doing, I thought everybody was doing. I didn't know any different. I thought Santa lived in the mountains outside of Los Angeles because we would go to Santa's Village. Go look it up. Go just type in Santa's Village in Lake Arrowhead. Be enough for you. We would go up there, not every year, but every other year. We'd drive up there as a kid. You walk around. It's magical. It's huge. And Santa's there. You're thinking, okay, I figure what he does is he hangs out here all the time. And then he goes up to the North Pole, takes care of the sleigh and the reindeer and the elves and does presents and gets everything set up for next year, comes back here, and this is where he hangs out. This was Santa's Village. When you're 7, that's pretty convincing. Now, if I tell you now, well, Santa lives in Southern California, well, bullshit. Santa doesn't live in Southern California. He got a timeshare in Florida, maybe. He don't live in Southern California. But when you're a little kid, no. He lives in Southern California at Santa's Village. Again, I had a couple pictures, but I can't show them to you because we downloaded the wrong folder. Sorry about that. Cat Brewski, Pops, how is the kid? Cat, the kid is an idiot. He's just growing bigger. I got to tell you, I had a conversation, a heart-to-heart conversation, not with him. Getting off topic here. Going to have to pour a drink. Gen X Mom, do you got my whiskey? Wow, it's right next to me. You really want me to try to open a Jack Daniel's bottle of whiskey live on the air and do it in style and grace? You know I can't do that. I'll fuck the whole thing up. I was going to have a conversation with you guys, the same one I was having with Gen X Mom, about, the kid, since Kat just asked. Don't. I don't know what you're looking for there. Oh, Ross Lefavre. Nobody cares about California. Boy, we're going to get back to Ross in a moment, are we not? So my son, Gen Z kid, the kid you guys all know and love and hate, I'm always trying to fix things with him, and I look at his shortcomings, and I'm like, I got to fix that before he goes out in the world. It seems like that's all I'm doing anymore, is looking at that aspect. It's probably not. No, I compliment him all the time. I do. I make sure that I do. But I think for some reason I'm focusing on, like, I got to get this fixed. Come on, I got to get it fixed. I got to get this engine running right before it gets out there in the world. And I've Gen X mom always tells me to pick my battles. She always does. She always tells me to pick my battles with things, and I never listen. I always fuck it up. But in this particular case, all of a sudden, I was watching him, and he's playing with my 4-year-old granddaughter. He's playing with his niece. And he's on the floor, and he's rolling around, and he's running through the house, and she's chasing him. And then they're playing store, and he just plays store. And they do fake phone calls, and he plays the fake phone calls. And, he'll spend an hour. And I thought, most 17-year-olds, you couldn't make them play with their nieces and nephews. You couldn't make them play with their younger brothers, and you couldn't do it. And you certainly couldn't teach that to them, could you? Who erased the comment there? I was going to get back to that, and somebody fucking erased it. I just told you guys I was going to get back to that guy on Facebook, and now you erased his name. Now I don't know his name. Somebody erased that blue comment. You guys need to fucking listen. I wanted to talk to that guy about nobody likes California. Whatever. Now I don't know his name. Now he gets away with it. Yeah, got away with it clean. You guys, it was up there. I read it, and I said, I'll talk about it, and then somebody erased it after I said that. God damn pimps. So with my son, I'm thinking, there's other kids you couldn't make. Play with your nieces and nephews. Play with your brother. They won't do it. They run upstairs. They don't want part of anything. So something that there's no way to fix in a child is making them loving and kind, making them want to be part of family. That's something they have to come up with on their own, and most people don't until they're older. And here my son is completely doing everything his mother asks him to do, never letting her pick up anything heavy and move it. He runs over there to do it for her. And he's fucking up in other areas. But these are fixable. These are workable. The stuff he's doing with his family and the way he's humbling himself and unselfishly giving, I couldn't make him do it. I couldn't teach it. And he's already got it. All of a sudden, as I'm bouncing around in my own thoughts, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should lighten up a little bit, kind of worry about the stuff that I can fix over here. I don't have to worry about these things. Just letting you asked me how he was. That's something that just came up the other day, and I was talking to Gen X Mom about it, going, the stuff that we couldn't fix in our other kids, he's already got. And the stuff we're upset about with him, being a little bit lazy and not following through on stuff and not doing his homework, we can work on those. Those are things you can put tools in place for those, can't you? Kind of changed my perspective. I will tell you I had a little bit of a course correction in parenting just based on that. Kat, since you asked, there's my answer right there. And I only brought it up because you asked. Now, let me bump over here to Ross Lefave. Nobody cares about California. Well, Ross, first of all, I want you to know you're a goddamn genius. You're a goddamn American icon for sure, Ross. Nobody cares about California. Now, what happens if I find someone who does care about California? What happens if I run across one person that does care about... You said nobody cares about California. I do. I love California. I don't like the government. I don't like the homeless problem, but I love my state. I care about California. Just that statement right there, Ross Lefeve, just that right there makes you a liar. You're a liar, Ross. And you probably said that with some confidence in your voice. Nobody cares about California. Well, you're an arrogant fuck, in my opinion. Because there's people that do care about California. In fact, the platform you're on is Facebook. They're based out of California, but they like California. There are a lot of employees at Facebook that care about California. They live there. So now there's a lot of us that do. Now, I could probably walk down my street. I'd say my street's about 50-50, but there's about 80 people, I'd say, that care about California. I know there's 3 churches I used to go to in this town. They all care about California. I'm starting to not understand Rod's with nobody cares about California. Goddamn. Everybody. Chances are you don't live in California. Or you're one of those guys that moved out of California, moved to a place that you don't like, didn't turn out quite the way you wanted. You wanted to come back to California, but you realized you spent all your money And you paid cash for a house and bought a new pickup, went on vacation, bought a big screen TV, and now you can't afford to move back to California. So instead of saying, oh my God, I want to come back, I want to go home, you're just going to sit there and tell everybody how you hate it. Sound about right? Ross Leflavy? Ron Lefave? Petting close to home, buddy? Yeah? Blanket statements like that are always untrue and usually said by arrogant tools that don't know what the fuck they're saying or doing, and I'm going to guess you're both. Now, I haven't met you. Perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps one day you'll show up knocking on my door demanding some sort of apology, which you won't get, by the way, just so you know. I'm not big on apologizing to ass nuggets. Dill holes also. No, I didn't call you dill hole. I don't know you. So you guys can erase Ross Leflivy. Yeah, you can get rid of him, and who gives a shit. Go smoke a toad. I love that you stand up for your state. That says so much about you. I've never been to California, but it looks beautiful. Go smoke a toad. Smicky. It is.
Oh, did you
There's a...
speech?
No, I was just about to.
Oh, okay. Well, see, the camera works. Tip jar. Have you gone to Pix yet?
Yeah, but I didn't move. I moved over the wrong folder, so all the stuff for tonight was gone. And you throwing your hands up in the air above where everybody can see there's no drama to it. You just put your hands up where no one can see.
Oh, whatever.
Smicky, I do. I love California. I love the parts God created. I'm not as much of a fan of the parts that man is fucking up right now, but that's just me. All right, Rodrigo Zubia. I fucking loved it. I worked in Redding, went to Whiskey, Mount Shasta, and took my guys to the Redwoods. It is. Yeah, the Redwoods are great. I've been there a few times. The big Redwoods are wonderful. Caught on fire. I don't think all of them burned. I have never lived there. Whoa, what was that? Somebody just erased what I was reading. Oh, I've never lived there. Who wrote that? Oh, Straight Shooter. Archery champion. All right, Straight Shooter. I have never lived there. I never want to live there, but I hear you guys are slowly sinking as far as your state goes, just like the Bible said it was. Straight Shooter. Chapter and verse, please. I didn't know that California was even mentioned in the Bible. That's how ignorant I am. I mean, I'm sure there's not a book called California, but it wouldn't surprise me if, like in 2 Timothy, 3:16, after he gets done with the greatest part of the speech of the Bible, he says, and by the way, California's going to sink into the desert. Now, can you imagine what a mystery that would have been to the 12 apostles? They look up at Jesus, and Timothy's over there. He's talking about California sinking and making a prophecy sinking into the ocean. And the other apostles look up at Jesus and go, what the fuck, man? What's California? Is that us? Are we there? And then Jesus has to go, no, man, it's all the way across this big ocean. There's a whole other continent, and we're gonna hide the Book of Mormon over there for like 500 years, and it's just a whole big thing. Don't worry about it. You guys will all be dead. Don't worry. That'd be quite a scary thing to start talking about California, and then bring that. Now maybe you're talking about Revelation, because there's a lot of weird stuff in Revelation when he talks about hordes of locusts filling the sky. I guess to a dude like Paul back then, a vision might have been helicopters. He might have thought they were locusts looking up. Helicopter doesn't know what it is, don't know how to describe it. So maybe there was some big fat thing that slid into the ocean, and he went, oh my God, there it goes. And maybe to him it looked like California because he'd never seen California before. I don't know, man. That Revelation's mysterious, man. There's some stuff out there. It's a good thing that dealing with guys like Straight Shooter and deciphering the terms of the Bible, I'm handling it with a strict regiment of alcohol. Or I don't think we could get through it. Do you? No. All right, let me get back over here. Kat Brewski, we talked about the kid. You guys can erase that one. Scott Langstaff. I knew when the whole screen turned pink, I knew it was Scott. It would have been Loud One or Chush if they were seeking vengeance, but nobody's pissed them off, so we're okay there. Scott Langstaff. When I was a kid in the Canadian Navy, we sailed from Victoria to Who would delete that while I'm reading it? Motherfuckers. Now it's half there. Now I can only read half of it. Well, thanks for that, guys. I don't know what you did that for. Yeah, because you guys are fucking with him. Scott says, when I was a kid, I'm just going to read it on here. Fuck it. Scott, I know where to go. When I was a kid in the Canadian Navy, we sailed from Victoria to San Diego from 82 to 88. It was a blast down there. I'm not kidding. Records to prove. Yeah. San Diego is a great place to go hang out. There's so much to do. I don't know that I'd live down there, but there's a lot of stuff to go do and see down there. And there's a lot of good people in San Diego, too. Really are. And 2 or 3 assholes. But most of them are good people. All right. So, we are moving right along here. I had more stuff to say. Can I go to my notes? I think I can. We talked about that. Yes. Okay. I'm going to end this thing with 3 Santa stories. All right. Let me get through this segment. Who is that? The Ace Jumpman member for 2 months. He's an extra. Ace Jumpman. Thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out. First month was on you. Second month's on me. There we go. Santa. One daughter, the daughter that just called from Vegas, as a matter of fact, she would believe anything. Now, looking back, I wouldn't always say that she was gullible. I think she just believed whatever her mother and I said and would turn around and spread it as gospel. Well, one year, she was really young. I don't even know. She was 8 years old, maybe. And she was struggling with to believe in Santa or not to believe in Santa. And, you give the usual, Santa Claus is real. Is Santa's real? Of course he's real. Santa Claus, who do you think does it? Santa, the stockings, a reindeer. Well, I can't believe we even went along with this, or I didn't. My wife ordered a Santa kit in the mail, and she got it. And Christmas Eve, I had my oldest son go, I don't know what he did on the roof. He did something like dropped a tree branch. It was loud, shook the whole house. He did what I wanted him to do. I just didn't think it was going to scare the shit out of me and everybody else. Immediately, my wife yelled, Santa. It must be Santa. So everybody, of course, is curious. And we kind of held the kids back as they all ran out. She got to run out first. And there's my wife out there with the flashlight. And I can't, but when she brought this idea to me, I said, we are going to emotionally scar our daughter for the rest of her life. And then I said, let's do it. So we did. So anyway, outside is my wife with the flashlight in the dark looking around. All the kids are looking around, but this one daughter is right with her looking in the bushes. And on the tree, she finds a little torn piece of red cloth. That was Santa's robe. There was a way to put deer footprints all through the dirt. And there they were. Reindeer footprints, a torn piece of Santa's red coat. Proof. But the final piece of evidence that sent this daughter over the edge with delight. Part of the kit was Santa's driver's license laying in the bushes. And my daughter found it. It was a real driver's license from the state of California. It had his picture on it. It showed that he was 900 years old. It had his address at the North Pole. The level of elation that she was feeling was how deep the pit in my stomach was, knowing that once she found out this information was false, once she found out this information was perpetrated by the 2 people she loved the most, I wasn't prepared for that heartbreak. But it didn't matter because she was 8 and I knew I was going to have this for a couple of years. I got time. I'll figure it out later. And I mean, she went to school to all of her friends and with the little red thing of the coat, and the driver's license said, see, I told you, he's real. Well, that year she converted an entire class back to believing in Santa. No shit. We really did that. I can't even believe that we did that. That was just, you know what the thing was, and this is, if you haven't caught on to how Gen X mom does this kind of shit, she has these great ideas, and the hard part, like the 12 Days of Christmas, she throws it out and then goes, here, you fix it. You make it work. This was no different. This was going to be her going, this is great. This is great. Oh, now we have to explain ourselves. Here, Dad, go explain it. This is no different. I had to do that. It was a couple years later. I'm like, oh, so we need to have a little talk here. And let me tell you how's going on, which is one of the things I was going to bring up to you. There was a couple here. That was one, was that story. Another one is that, and boy, Gen X mom and I fought on this. We fought so hard back and forth. Kids go through cycles. That some years they're nice, some years they're not. But we had a couple sons that were just complete fucking assholes all year. And didn't do what they're supposed to. They sucked at their chores. They got bad grades. And I sat Gen X mom down. And I'm like, okay, look, what is the point of threatening no presents? And if you're not good, you're not going to get shit when they're complete assholes and they get just as much as every kid. Well, she said, you can't do that. Now, we say that. We try to keep them in line. But in the end, you have to come through. You have to show. I said, why can't we show them the truth? They fucked up and they got shit. And maybe next year they'll think twice. Why can't we do that? No, I can't live with that. We have to treat these kids correctly. We have to do that. You can't do that. I lost my fucking mind. All right? Now, this particular son got presents. He got all the presents. But his stocking was filled with coal. I went out and bought that bubble gum, the coal-looking bubble gum. And there was maybe 2 or 3 little tiny gifts in there. The rest of the stocking was all filled with coal. And it was, I pulled out my dad card on Gen X mom. I go, look, I'm doing this. I can't let him get away with this one more fucking year. I'm doing it. And when he opened up his stocking, I was right there and I go, yeah, each piece of coal was a pretty cool present, but you fucked it up. Why don't you behave yourself for once? Oh, I know. You thought you were just going to be an asshole all year long, and you'd still get your stocking, you'd still get your presents, and everything would be okay. Well, I guess you gambled and lost this year, didn't you? That didn't work out for you, did it, buddy? Huh? That didn't work out for you, did it, pal? You lost. And that kid looking up at me with those big saucer eyes and tears beginning to roll down his face, and I go, don't forget how you feel. There's consequences for your actions. You were an asshole, and Santa was watching. And I walked off. Oh, Gen X mom swooped in and slid across the tile on her knees, hugging him. It's okay. Santa loves you. This kid's just crying up a storm. I said, keep crying. I'm going to take away your presents, too. Hey, he's shaped up, but I only got one opportunity to do this kind of stuff. I mean, let's face it. Kids don't know what's going on until they're age 5 or 6. You only got them until they're 11 or 12. So you get 5 or 6 Christmases. That's it. 5 or 6 Christmases. If you're going to use this to your advantage, there's a parent in the parenting book from Dr. Spock, chapter 9, paragraph 3. This is the one you use it on. Don't go look up his book because I just lied. I just made that up. I don't think that's in there. But I'm telling you, I did it. Yeah. So we'll get to the last part of this now. What do you do as a parent? Now, this is some advice. I had to make up something because as all these kids came of age, like they sit down and say, hey, I don't think Santa Claus is real. And I want an honest answer. What's going on with Santa? I had to come up with something. I did. And you have to be able to figure out a way to transition children from this magical belief in Santa to some realities. And somehow not make it look like you've been lying their whole life. Now, fortunately, I've been figuring out my entire life how to make it look like I'm not lying. You get a lot of practice being married. Okay, great training for this moment was being married. I want to start with that. All right. So I did set each kid was different. They needed a little bit more caressing as time went on, but the basic gist, and you can use this. I'm giving you this one for free. Write this down, press record, do what you're going to do. Kid, get those dogs away right now. Right now. I had to sit him down and say, let's start at the beginning. There really was a Santa Claus. There was old Saint Nick, and he was in Germany. And then my kids would go, wasn't he from Turkey? And I'd slap him and say, shut up, I'm the one telling the story. No, didn't hit him. I'm fucking with you. I would, talk about the origins of St. Nicholas and how, they would hang stockings by the chimney to dry the stockings. So he would come in and put little toys in there that he would make for the kids who didn't have it. There was a whole big thing on that. And I based all of my historical content, on Christmas documentaries like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yeah. You watch the extended version, you get some behind-the-scenes stuff, good stuff there. You get some historical accuracy. That's what I base my stuff on. My parenting is always based on movies, magazines, and TV. A few songs, but you can never trust musicians, really, unless they're a bass player in a band you don't know. All right. So you tell him there was a Santa, and then, he did all these things. Exactly who you think, exactly how you think, exactly what you believe, everything's good. Now, that dude didn't live forever. He eventually died. So did we get a replacement Santa? Would that be okay? A kid, yeah, you could. I see that. It's okay. It's understood. You could have a replacement Santa. All right. What about 2 replacement Santas or 3? Well, why would you need 2 or 3? Well, now hold on. The world's a pretty big place, and it was getting bigger, and there was more cities, more countries. You can't really do that. Well, but I thought you told me Santa was everywhere at one time. Well, and when I'm trying to explain this to you now, when you're 12 is a lot easier. But when you were 5, it was kind of tough. It was would the story have sounded more complicated if I'd have said there's 1 million Santas all over the planet, and at midnight they all dress up, they all run out, they do all the stockings, do all the presents, and they all run back to where they're supposed to be? Or was it easier to tell you that there was one Santa who had a little bit of magic power and whoo, did them all? Well, I like the other one better with the one Santa. Okay. So I was a little bit deceiving with a little creative license, but anybody can be Santa. Anybody can be Santa, Dad? Yeah, anybody can be Santa. I can be Santa. You can be Santa. You're going to have kids one day. Oh, okay. The Santas that came after the original Santa were all Santas trying to do the job of Santa, and there's enough of them to make sure everything works. So the Christmas spirit, the spirit and intent of Santa, you kind of see where everybody pitches in to keep that going. Okay, Dad, I get you now. Now, that was a short rendition of how I decided to do it. And there's probably assholes out there. There's a fun fact, Freddies, that are poking holes in my conversation. But it wasn't for you, dumbasses. It was for a 12-year-old that was hanging on the verge of reality. I said, so you can walk back into school and you can say, there was a Santa and there is a Santa, and just leave it at that. Now that you know how the whole Santa thing works. That was how I described it. Now, I don't know if that was right or wrong. You handle your kids the way you want to. I'll handle my kids the way I want to. But that was the solution I came up with. And so far, I got to be fair, I'm batting 1,000. Yeah. Everything's moving along like it should with the kids. None of them are traumatized. None of them are, having a little conniption fit over this shit. So, All right. So that's how I did it. You can paraphrase that. You can steal it. You can borrow it. But you're welcome, America. And Denmark. Chernobyl Studios, the sarcasm here is on point. 10 out of 10. I love it. No whiskey for me tonight, just some vodka. Hope that suffices. Chernobyl Studios, please tell me that you're home. Please tell me, and when that Ukraine shit went down, you got to go back home and your family's okay. Please tell me that. I mean, we've talked before with an email and stuff too. Please tell me that. Tori Randolph, General, is there going to be an auction tonight? No. I'm having trouble getting rid of that decanter. I have to. I know it's not mine, but it's a one of a kind Gen X Talks item that the Sun Valley Fox paid for from the diamond mines of Nevada and sent it here, and I've got it, and I'm just having trouble letting it go. I promise I will not do it without both of you guys here, YouTube and Facebook. I promise the auction will be fair. I promise the auction will be real, but somebody is going to walk away with a one-of-a-kind item that I'm having a hard time parting with. I haven't even used it. I wanted to say I used it once, and maybe that would make it more valuable, or maybe that wouldn't. But I'm not tonight. The auction is not going to be tonight. There has to be some rules set up for that. So now you guys know. Daniel Bates, my wife and I told our kids Santa started Christmas to celebrate Jesus Christ, and he brings one present to the other boys and girls. Yeah, that's a good way to do it, too. We've always integrated Christmas and Christianity together separately. It's like, okay, so we have the baby Jesus in the manger over there. Whole story, they understand all of it from beginning to end. They got the whole thing, and not just part of it, all of it. And then we talk about Christmas over here. We've never brought the two together in the same story because I've always tried to keep them separate, and the kids have kept them separate in their mind. You know, I never brought in that Santa Claus met Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. No. Mrs. Fort Watton, do it on Saturday night, talking about the decanter. Yo, I thought you wanted to do it on Saturday night. You wanted me to do it on Saturday. Now, okay, well, the decanter's fine. That's actually when I was thinking on setting it up. Saturday night's going to be a really big show. Saturday night's going to be big, and it's the day before the baking show. And I think I'm going to auction off that. And there's 3 things I want to auction off on Saturday night. 2 small things and 1 really, really big thing, the decanter. And I'm not sure how we're going to go about it. The other auctions we've done have been good, but it's troublesome on how it breaks down people. I'm voting for them. Here's $5 so that guy gets it. Here's $10. I don't know how to do that just yet. I want to make that a little smoother, would you say? Mrs. Ford, you've been here through all the auctions. You get how they go. I just wanted to make it a little bit more even, fair, I don't know, something. But if you want it, then you're just going to have to go for it. Loud one. I'm ready to bid. My credit card is sacred. Your credit card's scared to death. Well, the truthful reason why we can't do this is we have to give Chush a little time to go pull all the credit cards out of Loud One's wallet, so that when he sits down and opens his wallet to bid, the only thing he's got in there is a $300 milestone card that he's had since he was 9. That's that. We got to let Chush do that. We got to let her work a little magic, get a little stuff, pull the cards out, fill his wallet with paper so it weighs the same, and then we can move on. It's the only reason we're not doing it tonight. It's for Chush. Be himself. This is the best Christmas pre-show ever. Reminds me of sitting around the living room with the family listening to Christmas radio together. Be himself. That was kind of the intent. The 12 Days of Christmas. Its orchestra and its structure is to have some topics we can bounce around about, but the main gist is for all of us to talk about so many things Christmas related, so many things that have touched all of us. You know, there's so many people out there who have had to explain Santa Claus at some point to a child. There's so many out of us that have enjoyed the children opening up presents and the magic of Christmas and the magic of the holiday, that if we share those stories and we all talk about them together, it kind of draws us a little closer, does it not? On Facebook, as subscribers, the subscriber numbers go up. We're building kind of a family there. Bottom of the Glass Nation is solid on YouTube. We're already a family. It's growing these things together wherever you're watching from. It's bringing us all a little bit closer together. Now, I know we don't have all the big numbers, you know, that the other big live streamers have. They have 30,000 people blowing through their live stream and their podcast with comments going by so fast nobody can read them anyway. I know. I don't think Gen X Talks is ever going to be at that level. But I don't care. I don't care. What I do care about is the number of people that are here are quality individuals. High-quality individuals, like-minded people that when we share our thoughts and our creativeness and the things that we've all done with our families, that we've all grown up with the same ideas, the same morals, the same respect. How many of us in here used to say or still do, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, please and thank you? How many of us open up doors for strangers? Do you get it? I'd rather have you guys hanging out with me on a Tuesday night than I would 10,000 people on a Friday night broadcast, you know, on 6 platforms all over the world. I don't care. I'm perfectly content where I'm at with you guys. See, you guys think that I'm giving to you. You guys think that, whoa, what a nice guy. He entertained. I'm selfish. You guys give me so much. You guys give me so much that with the stories and the compliments and the me toos. I did that. We did that. Us too. Me too. I did that as a kid. I did that as a parent. It's very selfish of me. You guys just don't realize it. You guys do more for me than I'd ever be able to give back to you. And I'm trying. But it's the truth. It's absolutely the truth. The stuff that I take away after one of these shows where I sit down with Gen X Mom, we're talking about stuff, we talk about it for an hour afterwards. What you guys have said, what we did, and the things we wrote down, I wouldn't trade it, you guys. I really wouldn't. Micah Jordan, you are such an incredible father. Keep it up, man. You're doing a fantastic job. Micah Jordan, thank you very much for saying so. It's damn nice. If you go smoke a toad, remember for 6 months, I have a great idea for you, General. Remind me later. Sminky, I'll remind you later, sweetheart. You got an idea. All right. Loud one. Chush has access to the bigger credit card as well. Oh, jar be gone. Got you on that one. Loud one. Clearing the jar from back east. Insurmountable Cali Cat, $5 with our kids. We told Jesus and Santa, we told Jesus and Santa by Santa brings 3 gifts because Jesus was given 3 gifts by the wise men. All right. I'm getting that, Callie. See where you're coming from. Sorry about the typos. Eyes are still dilated. Well, if you'd quit crying, Callie, but I know who your guy is. So when Chris is around, I understand crying all the time. It's going to be that way. I'll let it go. Michael Burdick, 530 stars on Facebook. Thanks, my man. Put with the other stars. I'm definitely getting In-N-Out Burger tonight. Chernobyl Studios is back. Live streamers that big are boring to watch. They just put on a show for themselves. It's great that you can react with your quality audience. It's a win-win. That's the thing I get yelled at all the time. And I'm going to have another drink because every time I think about this, I get mad. The big creators always email us or they call us or they text us. We know they know who we are. And they always say, don't read every comment. Quit reading the comment section. That's not what it's for. The comment section is for them. It's for them to talk to each other. Don't have to interact. Lay out your program, lay out your live stream, lay out your podcast, and go. Just start talking, man. Don't slow down. You go from topic to topic. You put on a good show. You know, did Johnny Carson ever talk to the audience about stuff? Well, probably not. Not that I recall. But that's not why I'm here. I'm absolutely here to talk to as many people as I can. Why do you think we have so many people between the sheets reading stuff over here? Why do you think we have so many people putting stuff up, that copying and pasting as much as we can, the stuff that looks important? Well, why? Because I'm trying to read it. You guys are talking to me. I'm talking back to you. You guys make comments. I make kind of like sitting around a bar, isn't it? Or a campfire? Well, it's the vibe. But unfortunately, the truth is when you're sitting around a bar, there's only so many people you can fit. We can't fit 35,000 people around a bar. But these numbers seem to work. Broke Stacker, how do I manage my wife saying that I'm too hard on my stepson, who I adopted? Short version, I don't even raise my voice with him. I'm not hard on him at all. Well, no joking aside, without making this a 5-hour conversation, Stacker, you have to stop one night, sit with your wife, and discuss what is going on. It's simple. You just have to, how am I being too hard on him? And you either have to convince her that those actions are not very hard, or she has to convince you to stop doing them because they're too hard. Or you can find a compromise in between. But you both have to be on the same page, or you're going to be right back in this same spot next week. Find some common ground on what the issue is and what she's complaining about. And you back off, or she lets it go, or somewhere in the middle. That's it. That's the show. Hey, Dennis, I love the Gen X Talks videos. I raised my son as a single parent from the time he was 11 years old till now, 35 years old. And some of the questions from his growing up years sound like the old questions you get at. Yeah, they do. Kids are kids. They're going to be the same no matter what, aren't they? Mabel Martin Shop. Mabel Martin Chavez, I love the way you think. You remind me so much of my dad. He is my rock. You give it straight. No pussyfooting around or sugarcoating things. You're so refreshing to your son. And Merry Christmas. Thank you. Mabel Martin Chavez. Mabel Martin. I think I said Maybelline, but I've been drinking, so it's not my fault. Noel, member for 2 months. We love you reading the comments. That what makes us part of the Live Now experience. That's the whole point, Noel. And Noel, I was born on Christmas. That was almost my name. My mother said if I had popped out a girl, I was going to be named Noel. And instead, I was a boy, and I got the boy name of Noel. I got the Christmas boy name that Noel's the girl, and I got the boy name, which is Jeff. The god of biscuits. Scott S., member for 8 months. Bottom of the Glass Nation. Hey, Bottom of the Glass Nation. Been a while since I caught a live, but I'm glad to be here now. Miss you guys. The original Scott S. 8 months. Where the hell have you been, Scott? Good Lord. Now that you're here, I'm like, where the fuck has that dude been? Daniel Bates, this is my 3rd live stream with you, but I've been the short skits for a while. I became a follower, but didn't know you did these live shows. Now that I do, I'll be here every time. Daniel Bates, my man, thanks for showing up. We appreciate all the support. Insurmountable Cali Cat. What is she writing in here? Christmas question general. When you all put the lights on the tree, do you put them turned on or off? Well, we put them turned on. Question before. So I'm recalling, and I'm going to give, it has depth. We don't just put lights on the outside of the tree. We plug the lights in and we feed them deep in the tree. They zigzag, they go up and down. There is depth to our tree. Ornaments sometimes get hung way inside, and the kids have to go look. So there's stuff they don't see the first time they see the tree, or the second time they have to go looking. And some of their favorite ornaments, and yes, my kids have favorite ornaments, they got to go find them, and they're in there. You got to probe a little bit and look around. So there's depth with the lights. There's depth with the ornaments. So the lights are on, so we can see what we're doing. Plus, that's how you fill in gaps. You stand back and like, whoa, missed a spot there. You reposition the lights. It has to look full from the center of the tree out. You don't want any big gaps. So we do them on. A very practical, logical, scientific approach to it, as you can tell, but they're on. All right, listen. I got to go, you guys. I do. There's so much more I want to talk about. There's so many more things I wanted to do, but we're almost an hour and a half in. Gen X Mom is dying on a vine. I want you guys to know that she is hurting doing this. She hasn't been on the microphone. She hasn't come out of there. She's been doing between the sheets as best she can. There's a lot of stuff going on this time of the year, not just for you guys, but for us. And she's pushing through like a champ. But today she didn't get a nap, little off on the meds, probably ate some food she shouldn't have ate. Tough moment. It's tough. So right now, if I could please excuse myself and excuse the Gen X Talk staff, if we could all kind of pull back a little bit, tell you guys that we'll see you soon. We'll be doing another live stream tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Another dual setup. It goes both ways. Every time there was supposed to be one for Bottom of the Glass, everybody gets it. Every time there's a happy hour, everybody gets it. There's more. You don't have to come to all of them. We're doing the 12 days of Christmas. We're going to be on every day, as many days as we can, either live streaming twice a day or simulcast all the way through the first 12 days. Gen X Mom's idea. I'm on board. She's on board. She's pushing herself as far as she can. If you guys have any questions, you can email trippypineapple@genxtalks.com. If you don't like the program, if you don't like the person you were sitting next to during the event, if you didn't like how far the bathrooms away were from the stage, let Trippy know. He can make all those changes later on in life. Hold on. Another one dropped in here. Chush, $5. Love you, Gen X Mom. Get some rest. And she's read that. She hasn't left yet. She's still manning her post in there. Thank you, Chush. Thank you very much. All right. So that's it. I got to say goodbye and I got to go. I'm not sure where everyone is around the world tonight. There's a lot of you on both channels. Thank you guys for showing up. If you're going to waste 90 minutes of your evening, what better place to waste it than when Gen X talks? I totally agree. Thank you guys for showing up. And as usual, I'll catch you guys where? Come on.